Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Raise the Flag podcast. I'm your host, Nick, and we got Heather, and we got Tom, and Tom's got Wickets, and Heather's still happy, and here we are for another episode.
Woohoo! Thanks for
Oh.
listening.
Woohoo! Yes, we love you guys.
You guys still show up?
Yeah, well, yeah, people like us. We're likable. I mean, I don't know about you, Tom, but people like me and Heather.
It's debatable.
I like Tom. If you spend enough time around him, you start to know him really well. He's a great guy.
Like I always tell him, he's the nicest asshole I ever met.
Right?
It's like
Yeah,
a strong whiskey. You don't know why people drink it, why they like it, but people just do sometimes.
What it is, it's an acquired taste.
Yes.
That's
yes.
Oh, that's how we're going to refer to you now, Tom. An acquired
taste, Tom.
I've been called a lot worse, so that's fine.
That is fabulous.
What's up with
Anyway,
you, Nick?
I was told I was talking first today by Heather.
Yep, you're the first talking head.
I'm the first talking Nick. So what do I got going on? Well, I got a new article that's coming out tomorrow, which is actually today if you're listening to this on Off Grid, about outdoor off grid like lighting, flashlights, headlamps, and
Ooh,
lanterns.
exciting.
Yeah, pretty cool. And I think there's some pictures in there of like a ground cloth from a great company called PNW Bushcraft.
Oh,
and
thank you.
there might be a Bruin in there from the nicest asshole alive. And yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys, I'm a little annoyed by this because I really wanted to go out and get some like really cool photography in the outdoors of all these products and stuff like that. But unfortunately, like we are in the midst of like the craziest windstorm in the world here.
Yeah.
So it's been like sustained like 30 mile per hour winds with like gusts into like 60. My garbage cans are blowing all over the place. I was chasing them down the road before. It's nuts. It's been going on for like 3 days. So I didn't get to get outside and take really cool photography, unfortunately. But it was good. It's good enough. They're all there for the words anyway, right? You guys like to read.
Yeah. We don't look at pictures at all.
Other than that, what else do I got going on? That's really it. I've been working on that for the better part of the week. I've got an article in next issue that's going to be the next print issue that I can't talk about, but you guys will see it in February if you want to pick up the magazine.
I'm excited.
And we just got a lot of really cool stuff in the horizon over at Off Grid. We got a lot of stuff in the works. I'm still not allowed to talk about it, so it's not it's not a lot of fun for everybody else, but it's a lot of fun for me.
Probably a lot of work too.
Well, yeah, work and fun. And it's that.
Now we're just going to call Nick the Tease.
Yeah.
See,
well, eventually I'll be able to share this stuff with the world, but right now I can't. But anyway, so that's all I got going on the off-grid front. On Black Flag, I actually made a post on my Instagram yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
I liked
it.
I am really trying. I just I gotta be honest. Like I got really bored of just posting like gear pictures all the time. And instead of like tapping my creative juices to try to come up with something, I just did nothing.
We all handle things in different ways.
Don't worry, bad things are now allowed on the platform again, like knives.
Yes, apparently,
and camping gear.
Knives and
Not
guns
yet,
and
but
opinions
apparently
and freedom of speech is back on Meta. So
we'll see how that unfolds.
I
Right?
will not holding my breath.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody got all excited when they saw Zuck do that video, and they're like, "Look, it's changing." I'm like, "Guys, it's not gonna change this second." Like, I'm sure it's gonna take a while.
What I found most entertaining about that whole thing, that like Zuck's doing this video of like, look at me, I'm Zuck, man of the people, while he's wearing a $900,000 watch.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, $900,000, like handmade, like one-off watch.
I never.
I don't know anything about that.
I understand what real people think like and their struggles. Robot Zuck.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, that's it. Other than that, my beard is like getting kind of crazy looking here, guys. I think today or tomorrow might be the day where I give this guy a trim.
Well, Godspeed, sir. Of course, during like the coldest time, that's a dumb idea.
Well, I was gonna shave yesterday, and then I was like, but this is keeping my face warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do kind of, I feel like I kind of look like a homeless person.
You could just trim it. You could just, like we discussed last time, not all or nothing. You could just trim it.
Don't tell me how to live my lifetime.
I'm not telling you to do that. I am saying an option, you fuck.
you
I
like
don't
Todd
wanna...
where he sneezes and the whole beard pops out? That's what Todd's like.
I mean, I'm not. It's not. I'm not going to go like gone. I'm just going to like make it shorter. Anyway, enough about that. My beard. I don't know. Heather, tell me something about something. You always got happy stuff.
So, first of all, for the people that can see, I just posted this
Woo.
really cool combo. It's turquoise. Anyway, I really like how that foraging pouch turned out, so I put that on the internet. We'll see how long it lasts. And yesterday, I publicly called myself out for accountability on the internet, which was a stretch for me. But I've been working on a book on how to make wax canvas gear, and I'm not moving forward on it. Like, I just haven't made time for it. So I was like, all right, internet, every month I'm going to finish a project for this book. It's 12 projects. By the end of the year, I should have the book. So
So
now I've said it to the podcast followers.
So should we bust your balls about it every week?
Yeah,
And be like, did you finish your projects?
You should.
Okay.
I really want to. I have the whole vision in my head, but as with any project, it takes a long time, and I'm making it myself, so I have to do the projects, make the projects, do the steps, and photograph everything. So it's not an easy thing to put together, but I'm up for the challenge, and I think in the end it'll be really cool to have a wax canvas gear making book, right? Don't you think people would really enjoy that?
Oh yeah.
I think people would love it. So, and I'm just going to do it.
I mean, I think
now
a lot
everybody
more
knows.
people will buy the book than will actually go ahead and do a wax canvas project, but that's okay.
Would you sell
here's
kits?
I was, I was considering every project's going to be able to use a half a yard of wax canvas. So that's the whole idea, like a half yard or less for each project. And so I was thinking of maybe on the website just selling the canvas in half yard pieces so people could buy the canvas from us too. I don't know that anything's going to require a kit. It's canvas and sewing. So it's all just going to be canvas and sewing. There's not going to be any extra hard things to work with. At least that's the plan.
And what kind of projects can people expect to find in said book?
All the way from a ditty bag to a haversack.
Nice.
Like it's gonna be the full spectrum of projects. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm not gonna share any trade secrets, but I don't want to be a gatekeeper. And I know that when I started to make wax canvas gear, it was really hard for us to find information. So I was like, why not put it out there? Hopefully I get it out there before a bunch of other people. But if I don't, I don't. It'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to seing it, and I'm even more looking forward to giving you a hard time about it on a weekly basis in front of our audience.
Can you illustrate it with gnomes?
That would be great.
Like each person like cutting or sewing something is just a gnome pointing and showing what to do. I think that would be. That'd be very
super cute. That'd be a lot of work though. That's not complicated for me.
Well, if you're gonna do it
maybe the
big.
second edition. The second edition.
Yeah. I might do gnome coloring books. That's also something else I'm considering besides everything else that I do. I think I might put out a gnome coloring book.
Just besides everything else?
Yeah, it's throwing
all those other things that you're doing.
But no, otherwise, life is good. I got a birthday coming up this month. I got a party planned, and yeah, everything's good. And
is it your birthday that's coming up this month?
Yes, I'll be 51 on the 21st.
On the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
What's Todd doing for you?
Actually, we're going out antiquing.
Fun.
We're going shopping.
I mean, that sounds awesome.
It's like the most BMW thing you ever said.
I know, right? I was like, I'm going to buy some stuff I don't need, but I just want. Usually I justify my purchases for some reason. And this time I'm like, if I find something, I'm just going to buy it. Todd's like, that's a great plan. And then we're going to have friends and family over for games and appetizers. I really like to play games. It is fun, right? I just want to stay home and have company over and have a good time. So I'm excited about it.
That sounds lovely.
What are you up to, Tom?
Almost birthday.
Thank you.
Busy. Trying to actually get knives out the door again. Because the last couple months were a little slow. Which is fine. You can't go full tilt all the time. I try to. Doesn't always work out great.
And then the universe intervenes and it's like,
yeah,
no, you're going to get an infection.
To crash into it, and I crashed through that fucking wall. But it's still trying to figure all this out. I got 100 knives hitting the website when this episode comes out, which is very cool. It's kind of neat to see it all coming to fruition and things picking up like this. So I'm very happy to get these out the door. Lauren has been a huge help because she's taking over so much of the stuff, like assembling the sheaths and packing the boxes and organizing everything. And now she's even going to be like, during drop day, she's handling all the shipping now. And my ass is going to be sitting on the lake ice fishing while she's handling the shipping. It's great. Like, I love that part.
Look at you. You're like a CEO in training.
Yes. But she doesn't like me when I say I'm her boss. That does not go over well.
No, you guys are
So
working together.
yes, we are
There's no
working together.
boss. There's no boss.
And she's but I wouldn't be able to do as much of this without her help, because like some of this stuff, it's like you don't need a knife maker to be packing boxes, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But that's
Yeah.
still hours of work that she's taking off my plate. I mean, so far she's like, just for this drop, I think she's probably a little over 13 hours. It's like she just saved me like a day and a half in the shop that I could be making
It's
knives.
huge.
It was just huge. So
Which is
it's
why
like
you could drop 100 knives on
Yeah,
Friday.
I was gonna be like, she's gonna be doing a lot of shipping.
she's going to be doing a lot of shipping. I hope it all goes well. I mean, I haven't had a big drop like this. I've never had a drop this big. Let alone I haven't had a drop of just regular wickets in a while. And I think, going forward, it's going to be changing because now I've got my systems aligned. I've got all sorts of other new ideas that are coming up, which is fun. Like even like the chickpea. I'm bringing back the wrap chickpea. I have it sitting on my desk right now because it's like it's cool to like have an idea from, especially if I got the idea because I was literally just every now and then I'll go up on YouTube and everything and look up like Knives by News just to see like. But I like to comment if somebody's made a video about my product or something like
Yeah.
that. I like to go in and make sure I engage and everything else and see what people are saying about it. And then I saw an old video with the wrapped chickpea. I'm like, I should do that again. I should try that again. But this time I
People like
figured
that. I remember that. I think that was very, very popular when you did it.
it was the only reason why I didn't like it that much was because the way I wrapped it on the back, the paracord would slip and get loose. But I was playing around and figured out a new way to wrap this thing where this is solid now. It actually locks into place in the front, or I mean, in the back and in the front. So now there's no slippage of the paracord at all. It's very tight on there. And it's really comfortable in the hand. Just little ideas like that, which is fun. On top of like having time to like work on new models, like completely new models. Like I've got one that I just heat treated the blanks for it today, and we've got a meeting of the minds next week. So I'm going to be, I try to make sure because it's like you hate wasting. It's not wasted time, but like if I have a new model, those are the guys I want to get in front of because like here's your excellent feedback panel. Between
Yeah.
like LT, Mike, Mark, and Ruben, both those guys are experts in their own like ways, and it's like why you should, if you're gonna be bringing a new model, you should let them look at it first. So lots of
Yeah.
exciting things happen, and still going very fast. Working on the website soon. When
It's
working with
looking
Smurfs.
good. I saw your little sneak peek
Oh,
online.
that's still the old one. I mean, and even we were so I just when I was talking like, oh, we could do some work on your website. I'm like, no, just leave my junk pile website the way it is for now. Let's just focus on the new one and get this thing done. So that's hopefully going to be done before Blade Show Texas, which is another thing I have to get ready for.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
coming up.
Are you signed up for Blade Show Atlanta?
Yes, I'll have a booth at Blade Show Texas and Blade Show Atlanta,
Okay.
and possibly Blade Tactical or whatever they're calling it in November.
Mhm.
So going to be doing 3 Blade shows this year, I believe. I think it's Blade Tactical. It's also CanCon. It's
Yep.
Recoil's
Yep.
thing. So I was on the phone with Patrick
Just so
yesterday
you
talking
know, the
about it.
email came through to book your reservations for your hotel today for Blade Show.
For Blade Show. Okay.
Yes, in Atlanta. And if you want the good hotel, book it.
Oh, yes. I have to go figure that out. I've been
Just
trying
so
to
you
get
know,
on that.
I already booked our room. I got the good room, so.
You got the Waverly? Ooh.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah, I want to get on that, but the way we were doing it, we were joint with KPL, so KPL was getting emails,
Oh, okay, okay.
and that means we have to play telephone. So I actually reached out to Alicia and be like, "Hey, can you help me out so I could get this kind of information too?" It's everything's
Yeah.
always a shit show, but I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to both of them. I mean, Blade Show Texas just looks like a good time, and people always say they have a fun time at that show.
Well, excited to hear about it. Yeah, we're not going, but I'll be excited to hear
You're
how
not
it
going to
goes.
Texas? I think I'm going to Texas.
Well, I'm going to be spending some time with 2 people that we've had on as guests, JD from JD Custom Knives and John from Badger Claw Leather beforehand. And they asked what I wanted to do. I'm like, I don't know. Can we just do some Texas shit? And he's like,
So shoot
yeah,
guns,
yeah,
steaks, and have belt buckles.
yeah. And he was like, how does shooting wild pigs at night with suppressors and thermal optics sound? I'm like, it sounds fucking awesome and way cooler than anything I could do in New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta make sure you have a cowboy hat and a belt buckle to just
Oh, yeah.
complete that Texas experience.
Yeah,
already
Tom's
got-
already got swagger, so
Oh,
there's
yeah.
not a lot much to add there.
But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun to like make it like a little mini trip, and that's what I love to do with some of these shows too. Like spend a little more time at them at these different places and everything. Enjoy it a little bit instead of just like, you know, off the show and then back to the grind like it has been for a while.
It's a lot, and it's like, and we've all done these shows, and we've talked about this before, but it's like it's a freaking marathon. It's like you get there, you set up, and then like things happen, and then you go to the pit, and things happen, and then you just go to sleep for a minute, and then you wake up and you do it all again the next day, and then times two, and then you go home, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And there's more shows that I want to do that are other than just Blade Show. Like I mean, Blade Show is very important, especially for a knife company. It's kind of in the name, but you're also selling a hay at a hay convention. So like I was just MKC. You know, I think Amy from Warlander was talking about going to like overlanding shows and these other type of shows.
Yeah.
MKC is at a safari show, like an African safari like seminar show in Atlanta. And I'm like, my God, how brilliant of a place to go to. Like everything about all those trips to the African safari hunting trips are super expensive. Of course you should go there trying to sell your knives there. What a brilliant idea.
How are we doing a safari thing in Atlanta?
So it's just a convention.
Oh, okay. So it's just safari enthusiasts.
It's people that want to go on them. It's the people who host the trips and everything like that. The outfitters, all those people.
Oh,
but like,
so it's like a trade show kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much a trade show. But I'm like, what a smart thing to do. Like even like in the future too, like getting to like ATA, which is the archery show and stuff like that, and going to all these other ones. It would be fun to like branch into those marketplaces a little bit and just get out of the knife bushcraft land. Not saying I have a problem with it, but there's a lot more to the world out there than just that.
Spread your net a little wider, right? It totally makes sense.
So you want me to like bust your balls about it every week?
What are you like making a list for us, Tom?
You don't need to bust my balls. Like I said, I'm never worried about what anybody else says. I'm hard enough on myself.
Well, that's true. But, I don't know. I feel bad just harassing Heather. I'll find some other reason to harass you. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to have
like
a hard time harassing me.
Yeah, nobody's going to say anything worse to me than I say to myself, so I don't care what anybody says.
I understand. I tell people all the time, like, you know how, like, you have, like, that internal, like, when you talk to yourself in your head, like, when you do something stupid, and the name, like, give yourself a name. Everybody's got a name. Mine is Fuckface.
Yeah.
Good job, Fuckface.
You guys are so angry at yourself. My children
I'm not nearly as angry as myself as I used to be, but, old age has tempered me.
Sure it has.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to be like that dude. Like in like 40 years, I'm going to be like, get off my lawn.
I'm like that now.
Yeah, I know. we had somebody walking by with their dog, and like their dog stepped 1 foot on the lawn, and not me, my wife was like, excuse me, can you not let your dog go to the bathroom on my lawn? Thanks. Slams door.
Like, wow, that's a little uptight. It's a dog and it's nature.
Does Robin yell at the squirrels?
Here's the thing. A lawn is not nature. There is no such thing as a lawn in nature.
It's grass.
It's a highly sensitive grass that is really hard to maintain that dog piss happens to kill.
So that's why you just don't give a shit about your lawn like me.
Well,
I'm growing moss. I'm not even growing a lawn
that's
anymore.
You
don't have a lawn. You live in like a fairy tale forest. There's gnomes and fairies and unicorns and trees and buildings.
I have unicorns now, huh?
Yeah, why
that
not?
Sounds like fun. Yeah, I get it. I could do unicorns for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway.
We divulged pretty far.
Always. Here we are on some random nonsense. Anyway.
I want to show you guys my cup. Can you guys see my cup? What does it say?
I'm so perfect with a cat.
My nephew got this for me for Christmas. Isn't that the sweetest?
That's
He's
awesome.
like, he also calls me boss, so he's adorable. I told him I'd share my cup online. I was like, "This is
on the
great."
internet.
I was
on the
gonna
internet.
say,
I'm
everybody,
so
too, if, like
perfect.
you see me running across the house, is because I'm chasing my cat, who's currently on the loose, and I don't know what kind of havoc he's creating, but I don't hear anything. So
I'm drinking my coffee out of my 12-year-old coffee mug that I've been drinking out of like every single day. Because,
seasoned.
I'm plain, very seasoned.
Yeah, I like it.
I had a hard time, though, because I woke up early today to get some stuff done because I wanted to be done with, like, laboring by the time of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I've been working since, like, 4 in the morning. And I'm like, I was going in the fridge to get like some water, and I'm like, all right, I should get a cup of coffee for the podcast. And then I saw a beer. I'm like, well, it is the end of the workday. We could turn this into an after dark episode with just me.
Woohoo!
And
No.
Todd's all on board with the after dark, you guys.
Oh,
He was like, he'd love to do that. So
Great.
Yeah.
I'm drinking my coffee out of nothing because I don't have coffee, but I do have a mug that I keep on my desk with my pens.
I
Oh, and
hate
it says,
people.
I hate people with the sunset over a mountain.
Yep,
I
That's
have
lovely.
a few mugs with pens full of them.
that's my pen mug that I keep on
Mine's
my
vintage
desk.
and enamel. So
I had
Oh
to
my
make
god!
sure.
How did I forget this, guys? I got a desk.
That's the exciting stuff in Nick's life.
Listen,
Right
I know that nobody really cares, right, about my desk, but I'm super excited about my desk because before I was doing all my work standing with like this makeshift like little jewelry box that my wife had that I put like a lap desk on top of and then stacked books up. So it was really funny. But anyways, now I have a desk with a chair that I can sit down and relax and write and like be real
it's like
organized
you're
and stuff.
official or something.
It makes me feel real official. And I got this window right in front of me, and we got a crabapple tree across the street, so like I get to watch the birds all day, like mess with the
Having a
tree.
window makes such a difference.
Oh my
It really
gosh,
does.
right? It
Makes
does.
makes me so much happier. Maybe I'll be less grumpy.
I work in a box when I'm grinding all the time in the garage. There's no windows. It's just shut off from the world in there. This weekend when I was working on all these wickets and everything and I was assembling and cleaning and QCing stuff, I was sitting at the new workbench we have in here and I'm like, wow, I could see the lake and I could see nature and stuff and there's sunlight. I'm like, holy shit, what is this feeling that I'm feeling? Yeah. And it was just not being cooped in a box surrounded by tools and dust all day. I'm like, wow, I should do this more often. This is cool.
Yeah,
It does make you happier.
But also having a
have Windows, Heather?
workspace makes it nicer too. Like having a dedicated work area.
Yeah, I have. We have really big windows upstairs in our shop, so I can look left and right and see forest. Our office has no windows, but so I try not to be in this space when
Okay.
I don't have to be.
So
yeah.
just when you're doing the podcast.
Just during the podcast, yeah,
Yeah,
and
right.
shipping, and in the morning, and when I was doing those like businessy things here in the office. But yeah. And I forgot to tell you, Tom, when we were doing our auction on Whatnot, we have your Wicket in one of our EDC trays, and people recognized it, and they were there. They were just so cute about how do you get one, and there's going to be a drop.
Like not a big deal or anything. I kind of know a guy.
Yeah,
It's a one-off. It's a custom.
Yeah, exactly.
One of a kind. It's got a gnome on it. You can't have it.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Definitely, you can't have it.
How was it on Whatnot?
We're doing great. We've been doing really well, and we're having a lot of fun. And then I was considering doing a auction where people get to pick. Our knife slips are really popular. Like people really like the pocket knife slips. So I want to do a live one where they get to pick their cover and their canvas color. So like, what's the picture they'd stick on the front, and what would they match it up with, and have them be able to make them live. Like I want to try one during the day where we kind of mix it up and see if people want to come do their own combos. So we'll see.
That would be a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, but we're trying to do. We're going to go down to one a show because I've spent every weekend making inventory for Whatnot, and I'd like not to spend every weekend doing that. So we're going to start going to once a month for the regular show with me and Todd.
Don't be a Tom.
Yeah.
You're pulling a Tom right now.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? It was the holidays. It was fun, but yeah, I think we're going to go to once a month for that. But then during the day while Mom and Amanda are there with me, we can make the stuff right as people pick it. Mom can sew and Amanda can check it and we can ship it. So I think that'll be fun to try. We'll see if that happens. That's just an idea. I don't know about you guys, but I wake up with like 20 new ideas to try every day of things I want to do. And there's just never enough hours in the day.
That's why I keep your notepad on me at all times. Because I haven't even just been using the one original notepad in there, the spiral bound. I now actually carry 2 notepads on me every day, which sounds a little ridiculous, but it's very helpful for my head because I have the staple bound one, which is a little bit smaller, and the one with the tearaway paper, the old like cop style one, the notepad. This spiral one is great for like, I need to do something. I can rip a piece of paper off and stick it on a wall saying, do this, dummy, and like write to-do notes. Where this one is more like, I keep business ideas, strategy, or random other thoughts that come into my head, which is one thing that I actually wrote down here that I don't know. We don't need to. I figured we'd talk about this on the podcast, but it's like I wrote it down in my little handy dandy notebook that I keep.
Well, then tell us what it is, Tom, and let us discuss.
Well, there's a company called Cutweather. They make wool goods like clothing and stuff like that out in Montana, and they put up a post from Patagonia, and the post pretty much said, "After 50 years of innovation, we've come back and landed at natural fibers." And the guy was like, "So what did you do for 50 years of quote unquote innovating and creating things and setting the new bar and setting all the new standards and everything? And this is better than anything ever before." And then you just go back to like sheep fur. And it's like,
Well,
we've all known for like millennia at this point that's good to wear. Like,
microplastics are not in right now, so
well, I just thought it's an interesting topic because it's like everybody in every industry is like, there's very few brand new innovations. Like you could say cell phone is a brand new innovation. Like that's one that completely rocked the world, like smartphones and everything. But there's not a ton of those things, but everybody has a new innovation. And I don't know, at least the way I market myself and the way I put my product out there, I never really say like I'm pushing the bar, pushing the limits of all these things. I'm like, no, I'm just making shit that works. Like that's what I'm doing. It's proven and
shit.
tested. It's just
good shit.
it just
Why
works.
my shit? It's good.
But it's like because I see all the time where people are like, I reinvented the heat treat for the steel. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. There's a
You changed it by 1 degree. It's
exactly. The people who make the steel gave you a recipe to follow, and if you don't follow the recipe, it's gonna be fucked up. Like it's like baking a souffle. If you do it wrong, it's wrong. Like you're not. But it's those are like the buzzwords that people use to catch and people and to get them to buy their product. And sometimes it does work. But like I just find it funny when people run these circles and gambits just to then end up at this shit we already all knew.
Well, I have a theory that it's not really a theory, it's just a statement. I have an idea. A thought. My thought is it's all just marketing bullshit, honestly. Like it's all just jargon, you know, at the end of the day, like you have to create not you, right? Not you, Heather, not you, Tom, not me, because I don't sell stuff. But, you know, these big corporations that are beholden to
Shareholders?
investors and shareholders who expect them to not just make money, but to make more money than they did last year, they need to keep creating reasons for consumers to buy their stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we see this across everything. And, you know, Tom brought up cell phones before. And I think that's the greatest example in the world because I had the very first smartphone, modern smartphone, which was the original iPhone, right? Before that, I had a Samsung Blackjack, which was kind of like a Palm Pilot. The younger people probably have no idea what a Palm Pilot is.
I
Tom
remember
probably has
Palm
no idea
Pilots.
what a Palm Pilot is. But yeah, so it was like a Palm Pilot and a phone, but it was made by Samsung, right? So then I got the iPhone, and then I got the second iPhone, the third iPhone, the fourth iPhone, and the fifth iPhone, and then I transitioned over to Samsungs and Motorola, whatever. And the point that I'm trying to make here is that there was a time with smartphones where every year that a new smartphone came out, it was a massive technological difference. It was way faster. It had a really nice screen. It was innovative. Like there was a lot of advancement going on. And then maybe 4 or 5 years ago, that just stopped. The phone, like my 4-year-old phone that I traded in, then the phone I got today is the exact same phone. The cameras are a little nicer. The battery life is a little better, but you know the technology hasn't advanced anymore. But because these companies want to continue to sell a new phone every year, they do this marketing stuff where they just basically write software as this innovation in the phone. When the reality is they could put that software on the old phone, and it would work. It would be the same exact thing. But you know, people are like, oh, it's new and it's more innovative and it's got AI, so now I have to get it. But you know,
Well,
that's just how
you
it's
have
been.
to realize too that people do, I don't want to say fall for it, but people want the newest and greatest. I mean, a lot of
No, of
people
course.
want to show off, and I mean, like for me to make our gear so rugged and doesn't fall apart is not the best long-term strategy, but morally I'm okay with that. Like I don't want to have something end up in a landfill. Like there's an entire movie I have on my save list about fast fashion and how clothes are made to fall apart.
Oh, it's
So
fantastic, Heather.
was
Have you
it
watched it
okay?
yet?
No, I haven't. I just found
It's
it.
really
So
like mind blowing. Yeah, watch it. It's
I
really
yeah,
good.
watched it. It was pretty wild.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's the whole thing. Like the big point, and like no big, big spoiler alert, but you probably know this already. Is all that stuff that people donate.
Ends
Like
up
you donate your clothes and stuff. It just ends up on some third world nation island that they have so much of it they'll never know what to do with it. It just floats around.
yeah. So, that makes me just continue to want to make things out of products that will naturally disintegrate or will hold up. So, I mean, like you guys know, I just bought all that vintage wool. It's from the 1950s. I was like,
It's fucking awesome.
that's
That's
75
amazing.
years ago. I got
Yeah,
4 giant boxes of this vintage wool that I can't wait to make stuff with. But, I'm washing it. It's coming out looking exactly like it went in, and it's been 75 years. I mean, my goodness, the clothes
Well,
will
one
outlast people.
company that I like, when I was talking with Swedge recently, we were doing some onboarding stuff, and he's like, "What companies do you like to look up to?" And like one I mentioned is like LL Bean. I'm like, they've been around for 112 years, and they started with the bean boot. And you know what? They still sell a shit ton of the bean boot. You know what didn't change at all? The bean boot. It's leather and it's rubber, and they take care of you. And if you maintain the thing, it's fine. And I'm like, God, what like a classic like brand. And even like I bought a wool jacket from them. It's been designed the same way for like 40 years at this point. They literally have never changed it.
It
And I'm
works.
like,
It
perfect.
works.
But it's because you got guys that have had this thing for like 40 years. And I'm like, this is why I want to buy this thing because I know it's going to work. We're like, I have the electrician come into my house later and we had a fan short out. And I asked him, like, oh, can you just like fix the unit? And he's like, no, just throw it out and buy a new one. I'm like, what? He's like, you're going to pay me 2 hours of labor to play around with this thing and hopefully figure it out and maybe we'll find it versus just buying a new one. I'm like, oh, like, really? And I looked up, it's like, it was $80. I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. I'm like, because now I'm just throwing away a whole fan unit because it's more cost effective for me to have a new one shipped to my house. And because one wire went bad, now I have to throw out this other thing. And I'm like, that just drives me nuts because I'm like, that's so wasteful.
this
Yeah.
stuff isn't built to last anymore. We talk about this a lot, like in with my family, like about appliances, right? Like back in the day, like it was not uncommon to have a refrigerator that worked well for like 30 years, right?
Hmm.
Before it finally crapped out. Now, like, what do you get? 5, 6
I
years
was
out of
gonna
a
say
refrigerator
5 or 6.
tops? Like,
I'm on my third refrigerator. We've been here 13 years. So.
yeah, it's like
Oh,
none of this stuff is built to
Mhm.
be durable. It's just built to be end up in a landfill. And I got to say too, the technology, disposable technology, is the worst. Is the worst because that stuff is so bad for the environment. Both the harvesting of the lithium that goes into the batteries for these things, and then the disposal of the lithium that goes into landfills and into the waterways and stuff. It's terrible. It's terrible.
yeah.
But it's like, but we just make this stuff that's throw away. I mean, I don't know.
But we
Everybody
use
like,
it too.
yeah. I mean,
I mean,
well,
we all use it. I do
everybody
my own little
does.
part, but.
But like I try to make stuff last as long as possible. I mean, my old camera was from 2014. I finally got a new one. But it's just crazy, and it's like what makes me what like really blows my mind is like that we allow this kind of stuff to happen. But like everybody knows I vape, so whatever. Like you can love it, or you can hate it, or you can think it's fucking dumb. I don't really care. I used to smoke, now I don't. Now I vape. Anyway, moving on. But
It's still
they make
smoking.
these freaking disposable. I don't use them, but they make
I'm
these
not saying anything because
disposable
I smoke
vapes,
cigars.
and it's the whole unit. And it's got a battery, and it's got a tank, and it's a big plastic thing. It looks very similar to what I would use. That's not disposable. And then when you're done with it, when it's empty, you just throw the whole thing out. You're just throwing out a whole lithium ion battery into the trash.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that is just ridiculous.
Well, it's just a type of world we're in where people want these conveniences. But I mean, the reason why I brought it up is because I'm hoping that people are starting to want to go back to less of the craziness with everything. Because, like, one thing I noticed with the car industry is that people are pissed with new cars right now because they have all the sensors and freaking TV screens in front of you. And I'm like, how do you even drive with that,
I
first
was
of all?
wondering the same thing.
They're huge. They're fucking like mini TVs in front
It's
of your face. I'm like, how do you drive at night with this? But on top of that, like one thing goes wrong and everything's just screwed. Like my electrician, he had just got a brand new truck, brand new, and part of a wiring harness shorted, and it screwed up the entire truck. And he's paying $800 a month for this brand new truck to sit at the shop for a wiring because of some random sensor in the tailgate that went.
It's
And
it's
it's like,
crazy.
what?
It's crazy. And like some companies, like I think it was BMW, is now charging a subscription
Yeah.
for like the heated seats and shit.
And for the navigation
For the shit that's already built into your car, you now have to
that
pay
you've
them
already
a
paid 80K
subscription.
for. Yeah.
Yeah, you accept it though. I mean, people will accept it, and it'll just become
I, well, I
normal.
mean,
I
that's the
Until
whole
mean,
they
thing, and I tell
don't.
people all the time, like, vote with your dollars. If you don't like
yeah,
it,
Until they
then
don't.
don't
Look at
yeah.
don't buy a
look at
fucking
Jeep.
BMW.
Jeep
Go
is
buy a
going
Ford,
under
which
right
will
now.
also suck, but whatever.
We used
Like
to get free phones. We used to get a free phone
Oh
to
yeah,
be part
yeah.
of a thing, and then that went away, and now it's coming back again. So it is what people put up with, right?
well, I think right now, especially what we've all seen in the market this past year, is people are not just spending their money willy nilly, and I think that's why companies like us can still do well because people know you're buying something that's going to fucking last. Like
Yeah.
that's the important part. When we're coming up with the brand strategy for KBN, one of the things that Logan said was he's like, you're trying to portray more of like an American heritage brand where it's like this is going to be something that you're buying that is built well and is going to last. And people when they're afraid to spend their money right now, if they're gonna spend money, I feel like they almost want to spend it on something that's they know is not some fad, not with the newest crazy thing, but it's just gonna work and it's gonna last them, and they're gonna get their money's worth out of it.
People want to feel good about what they're spending their money on, and I think people feel good about spending their money supporting a small business and getting, a really quality tool. And and like in Heather's case, like I always laugh because like wax canvas, right? Like you could have picked any other material on earth, but you're like, oh, I want to do wax canvas.
That's all
And
time.
people will be like, oh, but we got nylon, we got Cordura, we got all this cool stuff, and look at all the amazing things that this plastic stuff doesn't. I got plenty of nylon gear, so I'm not knocking it, but I would make the argument that wax canvas has been around for a very long time, yes?
Yes.
And so 150 years ago, when the outdoors people were out doing their thing, right? What do they have?
Wax canvas.
They had wax canvas. And I hate to say this, avid outdoors people today, those people, like the average outdoors person in 1850, was way harder than you will ever fucking be in your entire life.
Yeah.
Like you could be the most badass professional outdoors person now, and like the standard 1850s dude that like lived in rural wherever would just out badass you in every way, shape, or form. Because they were actually out there having to be alive, not for fun, not because they were looking
Yeah.
for type 2 fun, because like this was life. Like,
Yeah, they just call it
there could have
life.
been bears, coyotes, native peoples, like coming to try to kill them or whatever. Like, so this is it. This is how people lived. And if wax canvas was good enough for them, what's good enough for me?
Well, I think it's just the simpler, easier to maintain, easier to understand stuff is for me I appreciate because it's like it just some of these things just make sense, they're gonna work and everything that I've not everything, but a lot of the stuff that's a new fad and new this, it's like you always find out the problems afterwards and you're like, God damn it. And it's
Yeah.
like you had to spend all that money to find out that that's where the issues are. I don't know. I just like to buy stuff that I know is proven and it's going to work and it's going to be reliable. I hate this. Like, that's why I don't want to buy a new truck right now because I don't want to spend all that money on something that I know is
It's
going to
not.
have
Yeah.
issues.
Man, you don't. My stepfather has like a 76 some odd $1,000 GMC that the engine blew at 44,000 miles.
Yeah.
You think that's
And
covered under warranty? It's not.
of
It's
course
done.
not.
The warranty's over. Ended at 35.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
and it's like we're looking at it, the future of getting another vehicle at some point, and I almost rather just like go down south, find a truck that's not rotted, like an older '80s truck, and buy that because you could still just dump a brand new engine in that thing because it's
Listen,
not
you
filled
go
up with
somewhere where there's no snow and you're good to go.
yeah. It's amazing seeing the old cars down south. They have so much cooler stuff down there on the road. All of our stuff rots away up here.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Florida and we were like, wow, nobody has junker cars here. We were there a long time ago on our honeymoon, and that was the first thing we noticed was there were not junker cars everywhere in Florida. We're like, I wonder if they just rot out so they don't stick around. Like here in Washington, you see some beater cars on the road. You're like, why are those still running? Especially out in the country.
You see, up by me, you see some of that too, but because we don't have any kind of inspection laws,
Oh,
so
okay.
like if your car goes and it can pass emissions, like you're good to go. That's it.
Yeah, all they
It
care
could
about
have
is
it could have
emissions.
no like freaking hood, and that's okay because it
Oh,
passes
all
emissions.
right.
So
All
you're,
right.
you're good to go.
We don't even check for emissions here.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's not
I'm
very green of
surprised
you
for a West
guys.
Coast state that you
Yeah.
guys don't check emissions. That's
Yeah. And when we were in California, it did, but not here.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Speaking of California, California's on fire, guys.
it's very
Yeah.
sad to see.
It is really sad to see, and and I bring this up because I think it's important to talk about something like this. I mean, obviously, it's terrible. People are losing their homes, their businesses, their lives in some cases, right? But as preparedness orientated people, like we talk a lot about being prepared for things and having the things that you need, and you know. Everybody like wants a bug out bag, and they always say, "Oh, I should make a bug out bag. I should make a bug out bag." You really need a fucking bug out bag. Like, and I hate to say it, I hate to like put that like stress that to everybody, but you need to have this shit because this fire moved so fast that these people didn't even have time to throw clothes in a backpack. Like they had to fucking go. And like I have a bag, it's right next to my front door all the time. Like I go out the door, the bag's coming with me. The end. Like that's how it is. But I think this is a reality for a lot of people, and it's not just California because like we experienced back in August up here, we had a crazy freak flood that nobody expected. Nobody knew it was coming. It was wild, and we had another storm like that the other day, but it was snow, and it wasn't as big, but same thing. Like this storm literally appeared out of nowhere, and by the time they were able to track it, it was already on top of us. So, we're experiencing a lot of weather and natural disaster related scenarios. And, unlike anything that relates to politics or people or whatever, there's no predicting this. It happens when it happens. And it's not going to wait for you. It's not going to consider your needs. It's just going to come and fuck up your shit. So get prepared, people, please.
Do
And
you
if you don't
have
know how
a
to make a bag out bag,
yeah?
we got lots of great articles on
Yeah, I was like, do you have some
offgridweb.com.
resources there, Nick, that you can
I
send
wrote
people
I wrote
to?
one a couple weeks back about go bags. You can read about that. Patrick's got a really great article up on like how to build like the basic bare bones kit for your bug out bag. Really good stuff on
Sweet.
there.
Maybe you can attach the links to that
I
in
should.
the post.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I do have something. I knew I forgot something in the beginning. So we have a new little project going on over at Off Grid. It's the form of an article, but it's going to be a lot bigger than that. It's called basically like prepping 101, and it's designed to take the novice who has no idea how to be self sufficient and prepared for all kinds of different things, and it's a little guide to how to do it, and the things that you need to consider, and then within that, each topic's going to have some links that go out to other
Nice.
articles, other educational resources. So it's really really great if you guys want to check it out, and even if you're experienced and you just want to check it out and give us some feedback, we'd love that. Me and Patrick worked really hard on it for like a couple months before we finally got it up. So yeah, so go check that out. Okay, and make a bug out bag. Do it today. I hope you don't burn. And for everyone in California, like really, my heart
Our
goes out
hearts.
to you guys. I
Yeah.
really hope
Um,
that you guys are safe, and just remember, like, things are things, but your life is not replaceable. So
scary. Very, very scary.
yeah.
Well, let's end on that note.
I was sad. It's a sad note to end on.
Yeah.
Heather, say something happy,
I
and then
know.
then we can leave.
I was like, I don't know. I don't have anything happy to announce. I mean,
I-
I'm happy. You guys are smiling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nope.
no,
I
I'm
don't.
about to run out of here and go check the ice to see if I can go ice fishing this weekend.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I
like.
don't want another
I
phone
may be
call
swimming.
of like, hey, can you stay on the phone with me because I might fall
Well,
through the ice and
yeah,
I
well,
need
I'm
someone
going
to
to
call
tell
the
Lauren to
emergency
keep her
department.
phone on loud this time. Because last time her phone was on silent. She's like, "Be very careful. Let me know anything. Call me if you're in any trouble." And I was in trouble. and their phone was on silent. So I called Nick. The
Well,
ice
be
was way too
safe.
thin.
Be
I'll try
safe.
my best.
Do we have, before we go, do we have somebody on the podcast for next week?
Yes.
Or is it a secret person?
I don't know. I don't remember.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to us bullshit.
Wait, hold on. I got a calendar, guys. I could probably look
Okay.
this
All
up.
right. I'm just
I can look
throwing it
this up.
out
I can
there.
see.
People.
Next week we have John from Badger Claw Outfitters coming on.
Oh, awesome! Great. It's always fun to talk to John. He's doing so much.
And he's got a really cool new pack out, guys. You should check
I
it out.
saw that's
Discovery M1. I have one here. It is so freaking cool.
Great.
Sweet.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, Heather, close us out.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate it. We would love for you to subscribe to us if you want. We actually have a super secret Patreon account that you can join that we never talk about. And let your friends know. Leave us reviews. And if you have any suggestions, we're always open to hearing what you guys want to learn more about or who you want us to talk to. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Wow, that was like so professional.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, bye.
Bye.